games in a row for the first time in his career to put the gloss on the scoreline. But there at the bottom of your screen, confirmation that Liverpool have lost 6 of their last 7 Premier League games. It is a staggering result for Nottingham Forest, an astonishing one. Their fans will be celebrating, but they are some of the few remaining still at Anfield. Fans leaving disappointment for the Liverpool fans once again, Michael.
Well, there's no hiding place, obviously, going forward. And that's just what happens when when you start losing your self-belief, your confidence. It starts happening like that. But in patches, Liverpool are still I mean, that first 30 minutes, I was drooling over their performance, thinking this is brilliant. This is exactly what Liverpool are all about. And then it just, you can see the confidence just fading away as soon as they don't score a goal.
Yeah, celebrations for the Nottingham Forest travelling fans. It's the first time they've won away this season. And what a ground to do it at, in what a manner that they've managed that victory. It's the second season in a row they've gone to Anfield and they've kept Liverpool from scoring, and they've left with all 3 points. Huge result for them, but from a Liverpool perspective, massive as well.
Yeah, of course. I think if you look at Nottingham Forest point of view, it's a terrific run at the moment, isn't it? Sean Dyche has come in now. I think that's 3 wins, 2 draws in his 6 games in charge. So what a turnaround. It's amazing a bit of structure and belief can have. But, yeah, they're on a real roll at the moment. But, yeah, like you said, Liverpool, they're testing the character at the moment. This is a run of form that they've not been in for a long, long time. Very, very difficult, obviously, now to retain the title, you would think, with the amount of losses they've had already. And it's a tough time. Like you said, a few seeds of doubt start to creep in, even with top players and top teams.
It really is a tough period for Liverpool. That is the headline news. They've dropped, as it stands, to 11th in the Premier League.
Of the match. Plenty of moments to choose from, though, for that accolade from the Nottingham Forest point of view. Not so much from Liverpool, who really struggled, and Damien reckons that their manager might be under a fair amount of pressure sooner rather than later. So, second half kicks off. They've already had a bit of a little bit of a let-off with a goal being disallowed in the first half, which would have put them 2-0 up, put Forest 2-0 up. And yet, within a minute of the second half starting, this happens, Kenny.
Yeah, first of all, I thought it was a mistake not making those changes at half-time. I think I warranted it. Until 1 minute into the second half, it's all over. McAllister, again, not near the pitch where you want him, 1v1 inside his own penalty box. It's not a strength in terms of defensive side of his game. He has to do better there. He gets done. Nico Williams was absolutely great, just checks it back into the space. It's a great run from Morgan to get wide to the near post. That kind of drags vanDijk and Kanat to the near post area. You have a look at that. That opens up the space. Kakpo's a little bit late in reacting.
Yeah, listen, it's really poor from McAllister. A minute into the second half, has obviously come out lacking in concentration. And they deserve to be 2-0 up, because we spoke at half-time about that disallowed goal, which was a travesty. And they deserve that, to go 2-0 up. And then once they got the nose in front, that low block just got tougher and tougher to break down.
You say it was a lack of concentration at the start of the second half. I would have thought that that's a time where you're fully clued in. Like, maybe as you get tired, as the half goes on, it starts wobbling.
You had a break and you've come out and the ball's come inside, and it's an easy one for him to make the tackle, to just get his body in front of it. And invariably it favours him, because, Nico Williams is spinning around and he's the one that's in a good position. But he obviously just wasn't concentrating, wasn't strong enough, and Nico Williams skipped by him. Yeah,
but it happens too often. This isn't an isolated incident, because this is what I'm talking about, that central midfield there. You can't trust him. Technically, very good player, very good footballer, but makes too many mistakes. I don't trust him in that area of the pitch. Sloboslai's in his position there inside the box. He doesn't make that mistake. He's more aggressive. He's more switched on defensively. But these are the small things. There's loads of this. This is where you start fixing it. This is where you start fixing Liverpool. Where do you start fixing? Well, there you go for a start. Get McAllister out of the team, get Sloboslai in that central midfield area. Defensively, you're more solid. That's a start.
They're all symptoms. Stuff like that are symptoms of a bigger problem, right? For a goal to go in, people make mistakes. It always happens, right? And you can always point to those mistakes. And people say, well, if we don't do that, but those mistakes are symptomatic of an underlying issue, that the players aren't as focused, as motivated, as hungry as what they used to be. So there's obviously a bigger issue at play here, the lack of oomph in their game for him to make those tackles.
Forest certainly looked hungry and motivated under Sean Dyche, and Morgan Gibbs-White got their 3rd goal at Anfield.
Oh, listen, man, we all have this moment when you're an old player, and unfortunately Andy Robertson's had a lot of them recently. He hasn't got the confidence to stand square with Amari Hutchinson, so he just edges that he's going to go down the line. Young boy maybe doesn't give him enough help, but he needs to stay level with him here and get him down the line, but he just bites a bit too much. And then he can't work his feet, and that is just age, unfortunately, catching up with you. Alisson makes a reasonable save. Can he get it out of the danger area? Listen, it's a powerful shot, and then they're on their heels on the edge of the box as well, and it falls beautifully to Gibbs-White, and he finishes it brilliantly. But as I said, we did the Scotland game during the week, and he wasn't good, Andy Robertson. A lot of moments like that where people were skipping by him and he's getting caught out. Unfortunately, time has just caught up with him. He's been a brilliant servant to Liverpool. But that is just not acceptable.
But then we talked about another problem, because we talked about Kirkes before the match, and you highlighted why that hasn't worked so far. So that's why Robertson is getting more game time. Kirkes started today, Robertson comes on because they feel like they need his solidity because they haven't replaced him adequately.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think. You have to stick with Kirkes. You have to kind of trust him. He's in a difficult place at the moment. Confidence-wise, he's struggling. But Robertson isn't the solution. You might have to think out of the box. Spoke about Gomez as centre-half. Joe Gomez had played portions of career at left-back at Liverpool not too long ago. Played very well as well. A defender that you can trust in that area of the pitch. Is he going to go into centre midfield and light things up, this kind of rotation that we're used to seeing? We saw it today from Kirkes. I don't think that's helping him out. When you're lacking in confidence as a left-back, make the game simple. Stay in your orthodox left-back position. We understand and keep it simple. Play your winger, go and support. Stay in an area of the pitch where you're comfortable. Don't ask a player lacking in confidence, an orthodox left back, to start drifting into midfield and inside left areas in the pockets and start playing in those areas of the pitch.
Forest deserve a little bit of love here. So who have you picked out specifically?
Picked out Murillo, but it could have been a couple. It could have been his partner Milenkovic alongside him. They're outstanding last year, these two. They really were. Murillo today, particularly in that kind of first half, just natural defensive instincts, just dominating the penalty box, winning headers, anticipating danger. This is exactly what I'm talking about, sliding across, winning possession, nice and calmness as well, and putting his body on the line. But it's not just that, it's about calmness as well. This was laid on, a brilliant block. Milenkovic done the same. I'm going to mention Elliot Anderson as well in that kind of central midfield area. His work rate, he's a highly technical player, but he absolutely worked like a dog today for the team. And this was like a cherry on top. I can't believe his first touch here. Szoboszlai probably thinks when he has that first touch, we're going to get a tackle here, but he gets the shot off that quickly off the second touch. It's an absolutely wonderful finish, and yeah, congratulations to him today. But it was a real collective effort.
He was brilliant. He really was. And the moment of Milenkovic shrugging Salah off the ball. I mean, even Salah got up and went, he did back to their formidable best.
Yeah, there was a bit of controversy over that goal, and Doy was the Nottingham Forest who looked like he was in line with the goalkeeper in some way in Alisson's vision, but as you can see there, they decided that he wasn't. What Liverpool fans won't like to see is that the last tweet before the international break that was posted out by the officials was about the goal that was disallowed
there's a difference
for them against Manchester City. I know, but if you're a Liverpool fan, it's like,
I know, but there is a distinct difference between the two incidences. I mean, it's right, Andy Robertson, he ducks out of the way of it. So, this one is far enough outside the width of Vandoy that I don't think it affected. I think it's a correct call.
Yeah, I don't think too many Liverpool fans will be worried about that. I think they'll know there's bigger fundamentals.
Yeah, I think they would be worried if it finished 1-0, but it was just so, because there were so many other issues after that was...
It was the atmosphere inside the stadium. You got a sense of that in terms of very educated Liverpool supporters looking at that performance and thinking, oof, there's a job on here.
Alexander Isak came back into the team today. Is he another symptom of what's going on?
Not enough for me. Really, really poor. I mean, touches like this, he's starting to get up to speed now, so push is coming to shove. He doesn't look comfortable. Listen, these are two big centre-backs that are very, very hard, but he should be getting across the front of Milenkovic there. Again, you've got to front up and accept that. That's what he normally is. And this is his bread and butter for Newcastle, where he just catches that clean and it flies into the net, and he got whipped. So I think he's had enough minutes now in a Liverpool shirt where push is going to come to shove with him, and he needs to start producing big time.
I think he will, but Liverpool have got to help him. This is a different Liverpool team who play a different way to Newcastle. I think visualise him in Newcastle, his best goals, kind of Newcastle dropping off, drawing teams onto them, hitting teams, his pacing behind into space. Not going to get a huge amount of that with Liverpool. They dominate possession. You talk about opposition teams, that low defensive block. So he needs a little bit of help. He's a bit like Haaland. Haaland isn't going to get the ball in around the penalty box, drop his shoulder, beat 2 or 3 and put it in the net. He's dependent on service, and this fella as well. And that's why it comes back to me. Have they got that number 10, that little creative influence who's going to play within 10, 15 yards of him? They played with 3 centre midfielders today. That didn't help him. Played with Salah, who was ineffectual on the right hand side. Gakpo didn't do too bad. So he's going to need a bit of help, as good as he is in this Liverpool team.
It's a new thing for Liverpool to be playing with number 9. I know Núñez came in, didn't work out for him, but so often it was Diaz coming off in that false 9 stroke extra 10, right? And as centre backs, then you have a problem if you've not got someone up against you.
They had Firmino for a long time.
Exactly. So they're so used to that false 9, should we call it? Whereas now you got a centre forward up against 2 centre backs, and you got to get him service. You got to get crosses in the box. Salah isn't known for his crossing. He tends to go himself and try and create his own chances. Gakpo is very, very similar. So they need to get him the service.
So many issues, so many problems for Liverpool to get fixed. My head's spinning a little bit with this post-match analysis, I have to say. So we'll take a quick break. I'll get myself together and we'll... They end up losing 2-1 to Brighton. Wolves beaten at home by Crystal Palace in Rob Edwards' first game in charge. No doubt about the result of the day, though, and that's the one that you saw here live on Premier Sports. second year in a row actually that we've shown this fixture. So I'd say if this pops up at a